I'm Reginald Gickington, and you can call me Reggie, and today I'll be continuing a painting journey through the miniatures of Senjutsu by Stone Sword Games. Today we're doing one of the two stealth characters in the game, the Assassin. Now the Assassin and the Ninja share a number of similarities, such that when I bought the Assassin and Ashigaru add-on, I didn't feel it was even necessary to buy the Ninja one. They're both slightly more fragile but highly mobile characters with surprisingly versatile elements in their toolkit. So with that in mind, we're going to be painting ours to match the traditional, iconic ninja look, which is actually pretty simple, so let's get started. First step, once we've done a black prime, is going to be Mechanicus Standard Gray all over the black cloth, followed by Black Templar. Mechanicus Standard is going to help provide a visible highlight through the contrast paint once we apply it, so as to enhance the depth of the black. Next up is Charred Brown, which we're going to use on the leather parts. That's the coif, the gauntlets, and the greaves, and also the gourds on his hip. We're going to be giving all these parts a pretty standard dark leather appearance, which should add a small splash of color to an otherwise mostly black model. His throwing kunai have a visible trail in the air, a sort of non-diegetic visual flare, and one that we're going to be doing in bright white. For that, we're using dead white applied all over the trails. For the skin, we're using Bugman's Glow. That's the face, or at least the visible half of it, and the fingertips. Be careful not to spill over onto the white trails of the face mask. The next step is going to be Macragge Blue and Surcoat Silver for the weapons. Silver is going all over the blades, and be sure to include the equipment on his belt where he has one or two shurikens, and then Macragge Blue on the wraps on the handles. Now comes Steel Legion Drab and Mechanicus Standard Gray. The gray is going all over his socks, while Steel Legion Drab is going to go on the rope belt and sash and his shoes. We're going to wash the mini now, using a black wash on everything except for the black robes. Be very precise applying it to the ropes, since those are on its chest. Luckily, since the wash is black, any spillover won't be too visible. As a highlight, we're using Corvus Black and Charred Brown on the black cloth and the leather. As usual, we're looking for those raised or upwards facing areas. You can also hit the eyebrows at this point while you're at it. We're going to do his eyes now, for which we're using Ghost Gray and Charred Brown for the pupils. Then, Altdorf Guard Blue is going on the weapon handles as a highlight. And that's all there is for the assassin, since his color scheme is pretty simple. With the assassin himself done, we're going to do his base, and we're going to do a snowy landscape for this. To do this, we're going to start with Stegodon Scale Green all over and Mechanica Standard Gray for the road itself. Snow itself can have many different hues underneath its white elements, especially depending on the freshness of the snowfall. Most commonly though, we see blue, due to some scientific principles regarding the wavelengths of light that I lack the capacity to explain right now. In any case, starting with blue is going to help us build up a more complex palette of colors for the base and really boost its contrast. Next up, we're dry brushing Ghost Gray all over the base, even the road, before applying Coelia Green shade as a wash exclusively over the road, to give it a slightly iced over appearance. Don't worry if the dry brush is a little messy, you want it to be very heavy, and it's totally fine if you get some on the assassin while you're at it. The assassin has a patch of grass on his base, which we're going to paint using dark green. Then, we're going to do a lighter dry brush of dead white, it being a brighter alternative to Ghost Gray, is going to be used to make the snow peaks pop. Lastly, for the directional arrow, Doom Death Black. I actually intentionally get a bit of dead white on the assassin's legs at this point to indicate that he's kicking up snow as he moves, helping him feel like a real item in the environment who can interact with his surroundings. I like to include these sorts of elements frequently. For example, blood splatters on a blade and on the same location on a base can be used to help indicate gravity and weight in a realistic capacity. And that concludes the assassin. He's fun and he's easy to paint, and I really enjoyed working on him. The snowy road he's standing on looks especially fantastic in my opinion, and he really evokes that traditional ninja aesthetic. I've seen some definitively more wild color schemes for him though, which are also very entertaining, including one based off of G.I. Joe, oddly enough. Regardless of how you paint yours, I'd love to see your results. Feel free to tag me on Instagram, @ReggieGick, to show me how yours turn out. Links to my affiliated socials can be found in the description. Feel free to subscribe or like the video if you enjoyed it, and I'll see you soon with another painting tutorial.